Hello and welcome. How are you doing today? My name is Lynn, and I am crafting with the Four Petals release, and I've already done all of the glimmering. I thought with this video I would make some shaped border edge cards, and so that's what I'm gonna do with this first one. It's actually it's a really good size for the size mini slimline cards that I like to make. I was really surprised that it fit so perfectly. The glimmered flower that I have is actually the negative, so it's a leftover from a previous card that I made. And the die that coordinates with it, it just cuts out the top and right edge, making it really perfect to create this shaped border on my mini slimline card front. All I'm doing here is just cutting away the score line just so that I have a cleaner edge there. And I create my mini slimlines to 3.5 wide by 5.5 tall. And I think that's a little bit atypical, but I like it because with the 5.5 tall instead of I think 6 or 6.25 might be more standard, I can at least get two card bases out of one sheet of paper. And and it just so happens to fit perfectly. The die that cuts out this edge, you could actually even line up the left straight, edge of the die and the bottom right edge of the die, and it fits perfectly on this mini slimline card front. So I thought that was kind of fun. It's always nice to do. I always forget about it, making shaped borders out of the card front, but it's kind of nice to do something a little bit different. And the glimmered panel, it just looks so pretty. I love these flowers, and so I feel like it doesn't need too much else. The collection does have this amazing sentiment die set. I mean, there's really a sentiment for every occasion, but I just thinking about going back to simple, the dies are wonderful because they do have the backing plate or the shadow layer, but I wanted something small and something just a little bit subtle. So I pulled out the stamp set, and I just really love all of the scripty fonts in this stamp set. So I thought I would just and especially since I thought this would make a good sympathy card, I didn't want to add too much to it. I often, when I think about sympathy cards, I think about flowers, something really clean and simple. And so I thought this would work really well, and it would still be something a little bit unique, just with the shaped border. So here I am working on a USA 2 size card. It's going to be top folding, and I've got one of the cool new nesting dies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a partial die cut of this. So I'm only die cutting just that bottom curved part because the largest die in this set is 4.25 inches wide. So that works out perfectly to give you this really neat shaped edge here where you get I'm not sure what to call that shape, but it's like a double kind of rounded corner. And I thought that would be kind of fun. And one thing that I haven't done, but I love the look of, is to have acetate as part of your card front. And so I've just got a piece of acetate that is 4.25 inches wide. So it's the width of my entire card front, and it's just tall enough to extend to the bottom of my card. So I'm basically sort of replacing the section of the card front that I die cut off. And what this allows is for the look of a shaped edge, but then you can still put this card on display because it will still stand up. Where if I didn't leave, if I didn't add that acetate, you wouldn't really be able to stand this card up because it's missing, that bottom portion. And so this is a really great way to kind of add something a little bit different, I guess it would be a bit more of a faux shaped edge, because the entire edge of the front card front is still, USA 2 in size when you include the acetate. But when it's on display, I think, you're not going to really readily see that that's clear acetate. It's just going to read as a shaped border. And I thought I would take a little bit of advantage of the acetate by just stamping something on the inside of my card, but making sure that it would still be visible from the outside. And I'm gonna die cut a bit of solid color cardstock using the next size down shape die from the new nested dies in the 4-petal collection. And so this will fit right on top and have a little bit of a white border all the way around, which I thought would look really nice. And I'll just trim off a bit at the top here so that it fits completely. And what I thought would be fun is to do a little bit of stamping with this really, really pretty floral die or stamp, I should say. And I want to create a little bit of a background, and this stamp has space right in the center there where you can add a sentiment, which is great because most, if not all of the sentiments included on the stamp set would fit in that space. So it's really, really wonderful. And all I'm doing is I'm stamping with a pigment color ink, and I actually it looks pretty cool just the way it is because it's a pigment ink. It's and it's a lighter ink color than my cardstock. It's still got a very tone-on-tone look, and it's still pretty subtle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the additional stamps of the single floral elements, and I'm going to really just fill out the rest of this panel, still leaving the empty space in the center where I'll put a sentiment. But this way I'll have more of the panel covered in florals. And the individual floral stamps, they do resemble a lot of the florals that are originally part of the design of that largest stamp. And I think if I had to do it over again, I think I wouldn't do what I'm doing now, which is to clear heat emboss. I thought that, well, to be honest, the main reason why I did the clear heat emboss was so that I didn't have to wait for the pigment ink to dry before moving on. And I wanted a little bit of that sort of glossy shine, which I got. But I think it made the stamping even more subtle. It really toned down the lightness of the pigment ink. So then it really turned more into like a watermarking, as if I had just done maybe clear Versamark inking for the stamp instead of using a colored ink. So I think that it really did the trick of pushing the design more in the background, and so if that's the look that you want, it definitely makes it more subtle, even though it has the shine, which is what I was mainly going for. But I think I liked it better before I heat embossed it. So I might try this again and leave the pigment ink to dry, or take the heat gun to just the pigment ink alone without any embossed powder on it, and see how it looks, because maybe after it dried it might have it might have toned down and lost its brightness anyways. So I'm a little bit curious to see if that's the case. And all I'm doing here is I did use a dotty tape runner to attach my card front to the acetate. And if you want to clean that up, you can just use like a gum eraser. And then I just wiped it again with just some alcohol. You could use acetone also, like a nail polish remover, to clean your acetate as well. So here's the final card. Stands wonderfully, and I did white heat emboss my sentiment on the inside, and this is a look at the first card that I created. Just really clean, simple, just letting that glimmered panel speak for itself. I hope you enjoyed these 2 shaped border cards. Let me know what you think, if you have a favorite between the 2, and I'm curious what everybody thinks of whether or not I should have clear heat embossed the floral background that I stamped out. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.